The desert sun burned over Silver Ridge as a young man walked into town, his boots covered in dust. Ethan Cole, 22, carried nothing but a worn backpack and a faded photograph, his mother holding a baby beside a man in a leather jacket marked with the emblem of the Iron Vultures MC. He had grown up in foster homes, haunted by one promise his dying mother had whispered, "Find the man with the vulture." The town was quiet, but the rumble of motorcycles broke the silence. Ethan followed the sound to a weathered bar called the Rusted Wing. Dozens of bikes gleamed outside, their riders inside drinking and laughing. When Ethan stepped through the door, the noise died. Every head turned toward him. His voice was low but firm. "I'm looking for someone who used to ride with the Iron Vultures," he said. "He's my father." The men exchanged dark glances. A tall, grey-haired biker with a scar over his brow, Rex, rose slowly from his seat. "Kid," he said coldly, "you don't belong here. Turn around and forget what you're looking for." Ethan didn't move. His eyes locked on Rex's. "Not until I know the truth about who my father was." Rex studied the boy for a long moment, his jaw tightening. "You've got guts walking in here like that," he said finally. "But you're digging into things that should stay buried." Ethan pulled the old photograph from his pocket and slid it across the bar. "That's my mom. You know her, don't you?" Rex froze, his weathered eyes flicking down to the picture. The other bikers shifted uneasily until a younger man, Tanner, whispered, "That's Sarah Cole. She used to come around back in the day." Rex shot him a glare sharp enough to cut steel. "Enough, Tanner." Ethan stepped closer, his voice trembling with anger. "She told me my father was one of you." "Who was he?" Rex's face hardened. He grabbed Ethan by the collar and slammed him against the bar. "You think this life is something worth chasing? You don't know what kind of man your old man was." Before Ethan could respond, the sound of engines thundered outside. Tanner looked toward the window. "Rex, it's the Devil's Sons." They followed him. Rex released Ethan, his voice dropping low. "They know who you are, kid, and if they're here, it means your father's past just caught up with you." The roar of engines filled the night as the Devil's Sons surrounded the Rusted Wing. Their leader, Mace, stepped off his black Harley, his eyes cold and cruel. "Hand over the boy, Rex," he shouted. "His old man stole from us. Time to settle the debt." Inside, Ethan's heart pounded as Tanner pulled him behind the bar. "You need to leave now," Tanner hissed, but Ethan shook his head. "Not until I know who my father was." Rex cocked his shotgun, his voice steady. "Your father's name was Jack Cole," he said, meeting Ethan's eyes. "He was my brother." Ethan froze. "You're saying you're my uncle?" Rex nodded. "Jack betrayed the Devil's Sons to protect your mother. They killed him for it." Before Ethan could speak, glass shattered as bullets tore through the windows. The bar exploded into chaos, men shouting, smoke filling the air. Tanner dragged Ethan toward the back door, shoving him onto a waiting bike. "If you want answers, go to the old canyon hideout. Jack left something there for you." Behind them, Rex fired into the dark, holding the line. "Go, kid!" he yelled. As Ethan sped into the desert night, flames rose behind him, lighting the sky red. The first light of dawn spread across the Arizona desert as Ethan rode toward the canyon hideout Tanner had mentioned. The air was cold, the silence heavy after the chaos he'd left behind. When he reached the rusted trailer hidden between the cliffs, it felt frozen in time. Dust covered every surface, but a small metal box sat on the table, untouched for years. Inside, Ethan found an envelope with his name written in faded ink and a broken pendant shaped like the Iron Vultures insignia. His hands trembled as he unfolded the letter. "Ethan," it began, "if you're reading this, I'm gone. I made mistakes trying to protect you and your mother. I left the gang because I couldn't let them destroy what little good I had left. You're my son. Be better than me." The signature, Jack Cole, blurred beneath Ethan's tears. He placed the pendant around his neck, feeling the weight of truth settle on his chest. Outside, a familiar engine approached. Rex pulled up on his battered bike, bloodied but alive. "You found it," he said quietly. Ethan nodded, voice steady. "Yeah, And I found myself too. Together, uncle and nephew rode towards Silver Ridge, carrying a legacy reborn.